three most iconic quotes from Carl Jung. The third is, who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. Such a beautiful, beautiful quote. I will read it one more time. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. For those who are already been on this channel for a while, you might know that I actually write a blog which I have named Spiritual Awakening Movement. So I'm a lot about awakening, and so was Carl Jung. He was not just a psychiatrist, he also wrote about spirituality a little bit and about awakening a lot. In his famous book, if I'm not mistaken, in his famous book called The Red Book. I actually have a sort of a version of it back home, but I haven't read it yet because it's more of a collectible version. It's not a readable version. You would understand if you would see it. It's quite gargantuous. But I am also looking forward. It's actually on my reading list. It's quite exciting to read the Red Book from Carl Jung. It's actually quite a exciting read, a bit of esoterica and mysticism there, as I've heard from various people. It sounds quite exciting, full of awakening, spiritual awakening, and yeah. Beautiful, 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 just gorgeous. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. Such a beautiful, beautiful quote. Spiritual, esoteric and mysticism is a lot that I have been talking about on this channel. Also what Carl Jung what Carl Jung is also famous for with regards to spirituality are synchronicities, and you might have seen me looking elsewhere because sometimes birds could be synchronicities as well. Obviously that's what Carl Jung sort of was famous for. I will just interrupt for a second because my best bud Mikey finally came here. He's finally here. I was a little bit worried because he wasn't here. So allow me to just, for those who are new here, allow me to just introduce you to my beloved co-host, best bud, Mikey. He's right here. All right, Mikey, am I right? He was just around the corner, so I was a little bit distracted. He's such a cutie patootie, am I right? Mikey, I will give you a treat. Oh my God. Maybe the bird was the spirit of Carl Jung. Maybe it was, you know. It's quite exciting. Quite exciting. Not gonna lie. So, I guess we can continue with second most iconic quote from Carl Jung, and that is, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. Basically, what this talks about is, well, first we have to understand that Carl Jung was a psychiatrist. He was clinical psychiatrist. So, if I'm not mistaken, he was a psychologist, or even he had a doctorate. So he might have been a psychiatrist. I will have to double check, just in case. But what he saw was a lot of patients, and so this quote, people will do anything no matter how absurd to avoid facing their own souls, is a little bit, it's a slightly more pessimistic. It's one of the if I'm not mistaken, so far the only quote that has been pessimistic. And what it talks about is, as he saw a lot of patients that needed his help and his advice in life, he also saw that people were trying to avoid the inner work, trying to avoid the shadow work, trying to avoid the healing these insecurities and healing the scars on your soul, as we call them in spirituality. And people were trying to avoid that, and instead they would indulge in anything that could distract them, like being cheating on their partner, for example, or gambling, or anything that could distract you from facing your own shadows, as Carl Jung called them. And that is what he's talking about in this beautiful quote. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls, facing their own shadows. He's obviously very famous for talking about the shadow and the shadows that we all face. And this quote obviously talks, it's I would say more of a warning. It's more of a warning for us not to avoid the shadow work, not to avoid the healing part of mental health. And it is more of a warning. It is more of a pessimistically driven warning. It is trying to tell us that we should not avoid to heal our insecurities, our scar souls, our scar on our soul, that we should definitely not avoid this important part of awakening our soul. And the first, most iconic quote from Carl Jung is, "The privilege of lifetime is to become who you truly are." The privilege of lifetime is to become who you truly are. And this last quote beautifully ties all these quotes together. That's why I picked it up. That's why I chose it for today's video, because it beautifully ties all three quotes together. And what it talks about is the purpose of your incarnation on this life is to obviously become the best version of yourself. And to do that, you need to do the inner work. You need to look inwards. You need to awaken your soul, and you need to truly become the best potential of yourself, the best version of yourself, and thus you will truly become who you were meant to be. That's why you incarnated on this planet. That's why you chose this body and this life, and you choose this entire lifetime to attempt to become who you truly were meant to be, the best version of yourself, the best potential that you are here to fulfill. And so this beautiful lifetime is here. You are here to basically enjoy it, but also to implement growth and overcome certain struggles in life, and grow as a person in general. Guys, I don't make just videos, I also write blog too. The link is in the bio, make sure you check it out. Also, make sure to smash that subscribe button, make sure to smash that like button, make sure to check out the video here, make sure to check out the video there and everywhere. And guys, I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.